Yeah, I just want to have a crush. Like
That
I'm
is,
in like
it's been exciting.
where yes, because like I'm just like I see my parents every day. What am I gonna do? Crush on them? No,
No,
that's weird.
no, not in the state of Delaware or Pennsylvania, babe.
No, it's not allowed. Can't crush on my
Mm-mm.
dogs either. That'd be weird. That'd be
Yeah,
weirder. Or do
you
we think
think?
it's? I don't know. You be the judge. Guys, comment down below. Is it weird to have
Up
a
to
crush
you.
on your parents or your dogs?
Manic
Pixie.
Jump Scare. Hosted by Quinn Murphy
And Becca Hobart.
Hi,
Hi, we're
we're
Quinn.
Quinn
And
and
we're
we're
Becca.
Becca.
And welcome to Manic Pixie Jump Scare, a podcast where Becca and I talk openly about our shared delusions
Passions
and
and
love
love for each
each
other.
other.
Yeah, guys.
Oh my
I'm
God, here we are
serving.
again.
I'm picturing myself with a little Bob. B.O.B. B.O.B. What's your name?
Movie.
Started calling you Bob.
I'm close to
Okay.
a little Bob at this point.
You kind of are, and it's
Close to a
beautiful to
Robert.
see. Oh, we've been robbed. Um, thank you, thank you. Um,
As we call a callback in the industry. In the industry. That's what we call that.
as you exactly as you may recall, call back. Yeah,
Call
yeah,
back.
it's all connected. This is all web of connectivity.
Literally.
The web of connectivity. Okay. Anyway, so guys, we're back again for another episode, and I'm dying to know what is up with my friend Quinn. Quinn, what's up?
Well, um, I'm still searching for a job. Well, okay, so job front, searching for a job is just this process that
Yeah.
changes so quickly and frequently. Can I ask when you moved back to where you live now
Mm-hmm.
after leaving Pittsburgh, what was your job process like?
So I worked at the Starbucks Pittsburgh
Oh yeah, I
Starbucks.
forget. Yeah, you
And then I
transferred.
transferred. And then I was like, oh no, no, no,
Didn't
no.
like the
Because I
culture at the new Starbucks.
no,
Let's just say
no, no,
that.
no. The culture was changed. And in
Cultural
a bad
reset for the
way.
worst.
The culture for worst. So that was really bad for me. And then basically just was like, oh, on my phone, like I should apply to Ulta. It's across the street, and I wanted to work there in high school, but like they never got back to me or whatever. So I applied, and then like a week later, unfortunately, I got the job.
Oh, I love that so much for you.
But I
That's how
was
getting
like fine starting with, $12. So
yeah,
it's
that's how
different
getting a job
now.
should be. Like it should
It's
be
easy like
fine. It
that.
should be easy
Yeah.
like that. You should be
Mm-hmm.
able to just
Mm-hmm.
get one.
Yeah.
And that's what people
But
seem to think you can do, but that's actually not the case, Ellen.
so what's been going on, Quinn?
It's just I don't know. I've had like a whole seesaw whirlwind of emotions over the past week. So when last we
Oh
spoke, I
boy.
was getting all these interviews. I was getting flued out. All expenses is paid for.
That's what I
Um,
thought.
and so some of the interviews, well, I did an interview like the day after we got on here. And I did this interview. I felt really good about it. And then they were like, okay, well, we'll get back to you by end of day tomorrow. I was like, her. And so I just assumed when
Lovely.
they said, oh, we'll get back to you, that means whether you got it or not, we'll get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because my whole thing is if you are in a position where like you're hiring people for
Mm-hmm.
basically whatever job it could be, if you want to hire people, you have to be able to like reject people.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it might just be a me thing, but like if I apply for something or if I audition for something, if I didn't get it, girl, just tell me.
Right.
Let me
Because then I
know.
can move on.
Yes, because then
Yeah.
I can move on. But it's this weird like limbo where it's like, oh, never heard back. And so I thought that's what this job was doing to me. When next day rolls around, it's end of day, getting into 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock before clock strikes midnight, famously.
Right. Yeah.
And there's no email in my inbox being like, oh my God,
Hey
congratulations, or
girl.
oh my God, unfortunately.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like that. And then to my surprise, same thing happens Friday. And I'm like, what is going on? And so then I felt like a whole funk this weekend because I was so like, and it was irrational to like let this one thing kind of like ostensibly ruin my weekend. But it was just kind of like
Mhm.
also, I think it was just all my like frustration with like this month-long process being
Mhm.
like coming to a head a little bit and being like, I just hate this.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah. And again, it's all that rhetoric around, oh, just get a job. And it's like, well, actually,
I'm
you can't. I'm
trying.
living proof that you can't just get a job. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't applied to like everything. Like, I believe, you have the right to be like discerning and stuff. And I haven't like applied to like everything I possibly could have. But like,
Right.
I don't know. I still applied to like 20 jobs. Like, and like,
Dang.
yeah, like the fact that like I couldn't even getting to the interview stage too. Like, first of all, you don't hear back from most of them.
Mhm.
The ones you do get an interview with, you go and do the interview. They might cancel on you last minute and then reschedule. And they might say they're gonna reach out to you and then not reach out to you. It's just so frustrating. It's such a frustrating thing to be put through. And so
Yeah.
I was really feeling it this weekend. I was a little bit in my flop era this weekend. But then what
Oh.
happens yesterday?
Okay.
For that job I interviewed last week, who said, "Oh, end of day tomorrow." It was actually end of day 3 days from now. It turns out because then they came
Okay.
back and they were like, "Well, we have an offer for you," and I was like, "Oh, word."
Now we're twerking.
So, guys, I do have a job offer, but it's like at what cost?
Okay, lovely. Can you say what for?
It is for like a summer camp position.
Yippee.
Yeah, and I'm like 95% on it.
Cool.
We're
Lovely.
still we're still thinking, we're still percolating because now this is the thing. I have all these opportunities,
Right.
and
And who knows when you're going to hear back from all of them to be able to
literally,
make
that's the other thing
decisions.
too. You have to like manage all like your stuff coming in,
Right.
and you have to be like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm gonna have to do this, and then like I don't know if I'll have time based on when they give me the offer, and it's like all this. It's so
It's
complicated. It's
craziness.
complicated. It's way harder than it should be.
I mean, I totally understand getting ghosted by a corporation or institution because that's what CMU did to me.
Oh my God, they
Imagine
still
that.
haven't gotten back to you.
No, and I'm actually thinking about penning a letter and asking for my freaking
That
because
should
I
be an
paid a fee.
episode.
I paid to apply. And
That
then
should be
they're
an
just like,
episode writing Becca's
oh my
anger
God,
letter
like
to
revenge letter.
CMU.
Can we actually do that? Because I actually need that money back.
Yeah.
It was $100 more so.
And it's like, I don't have any evidence that anybody looked at my application ever.
Yeah. Oh my God, no. Just digital confirmations that it was received. But I'm like, girl.
That's crazy. And did they say they would like interview you?
So what happened was they like emailed in February when the decisions were supposed to be made and you were supposed to hear back. And then they were like they sent an email that was like, okay, so we're actually going to postpone that by like 2 weeks. I didn't hear anything. So then like the weekend went by and then I emailed someone like the graduate person and was like, "Hey, didn't hear back. Just does this mean that I don't have an interview? That's cool. Just let me know." Um, or did I like miss something? And then they said they CC'd someone and said this person can help answer that question better. They are handling whatever blah 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 applications. That was the last thing I heard.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you guys are a big school.
I know. With like, especially in the area you are like applying
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, all right, revenge letter.
Revenge letter writing.
That will be.
Oh, and then there's the whole other
Okay.
layer of, so I finally got my Rover and my Wag up, which are dog
Yeah.
sitting services, which, guys, if you don't know, you have to pay a fee to get reviewed. So you don't live in a free country anymore, I guess.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, so I had to pay like a good amount of money getting both my applications reviewed on the websites, and then they put me up, and then you have to get all these referrals, and so I was texting people for referrals and stuff, and so anyway, but now I'm on both services. But
Lovely.
girl, it's also just like a whole thing, because then it's like, first of all, you have to like get into like a lot of it is going into strangers' house. houses, it seems
Yes.
like. And being
Yes.
like, hi, dog.
Yes.
Hello, dog.
So
It's me, stranger. You don't know.
I don't know if you know, but my mother is like a professional rover walker at this point.
I love that for her.
She calls them her clients.
Yeah, her clientele. It's true.
And yeah, so she walks basically like 3 to 10 dogs a day
Oh my
and like
God.
makes like a fair living and then goes to the shelter at night. Like this woman runs on dogs and then she goes and eats her meal. So
For
imagine
one
how
meal.
cranky she is
So by
for a
then she's
meal.
like, oh, I'm starving.
She's like, oh, today drain me.
Me.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
But Jewel
God.
can definitely get you a referral. Like she has high rating. Like,
Well,
come on.
now it's weird because Rover, does she only do Rover? Or does she also do WAG?
Just Rover. I think that my aunt tried WAG and like didn't like it as much for some reason.
Really? Because Rover, I haven't gotten any. Well, Rover's different. WAG is more like walker oriented, and that like you go on WAG and you can see all the different jobs listed and you can like request them.
Mm-hmm.
Rover is much more, these people just come out of the abyss and are like, can you watch my dog?
Yeah. Get my dog.
Or can you
Yeah.
walk my dog? And it's just like, okay, yeah. And so I've gotten like 2 offers over the past 2 days, and been trying to correspond with these people. And
Mm-hmm.
Rover will like bully you into being like, oh, most successful pet walkers reply within an hour. What are you doing? And literally,
I'm
I texted this
thinking.
lady back. Okay, first of all, this one I got today, I let one sit for a while yesterday because I had this whole like, again, I'm like doing interviews and she wanted me to like stay at her house, which is a little bit like, it's like an hour away from where I live.
Oh, that's
Um,
weird.
but yeah, I would be like willing to do it because at this, I need some kind of income coming in, guys.
Yeah. At this
Credit card
damn
statement is
point.
due on the 3rd.
Oh. Oh.
And so I was like, but I did text her back yesterday, and then I got another one today. I took less than an hour. Meanwhile, Rover was like, "Oh, you better respond. You haven't talked to these people in a while." And I'm like, "Girl, they reached out to me 50 minutes ago. Like, it's been less than an
Yeah.
hour. Like, what are
Calm
you even
down.
talking about even?" And then I text both those people back. I texted that woman back yesterday. The first one has not replied. Same thing with the person who texted me today. Has not replied.
Great, great. So they just get to do whatever they want.
Literally.
But the Rover employees, they have to work. What?
Yeah, what is going on? And also they set my rates like so low. I have to adjust the rates a little bit.
What? How
Cause
much would you get for an hour walk?
a walk, I don't know. WAG, it's all different, but
Oh, okay.
Rover, to like sit somebody, it's only like $30 a day.
Okay.
Which like might sound like a lot, but honestly, like pet hotels, it's costs like
So
if
much more,
yeah, it
actually.
costs like, so if that's the alternative, you just have to set your price like a little lower than that. Like mine's set to like $31 or something because I didn't really like think about it at first. But then I only take home like 24 of that each day because some of it goes to Rover.
Right.
And so I gotta raise my rates a little bit because I'm just, girl, I could be making more money. Cause it's like you could have a dog for like a week. Like one of my jobs is like that one of my potential jobs is for 6 days and it's only like $230.
Gotcha.
And
Okay,
I'm like,
interesting.
that feels like a small amount because I've dog sat before.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so that's the trial and tribulations of trying to earn an income. But guys, I think I have a definite offer. I have a company who's like, okay, we want to employ you. So,
Well, that is so good.
and I had another
Oh,
interview today for, I'm hoping to get a 2-job situation going this summer.
lovely.
So
That would be best case. Yeah.
best case. Actually, best case, 3-4 jobs. Come on, guys, bring them on. I'm ready.
This counts as one job. Being my friend counts as a second job. Come
Podcast,
on.
being Becca's friend. Oh, and what else happened this week with Quinn? But if you guys are watching, you might have seen my beautiful background, my cover image for my new newsletter, the new newsletter by Quinn Murphy over
Y'all.
Intellectuals Anonymous, with beautiful visuals. More importantly than the newsletter, guys. More importantly than any of the words I'm writing, any of the words I'm going click, 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 click,
Click, click.
is the beautiful imagery by who else? Who literally the fuck else than Becca Hobart?
Me?
Yes,
Oh my
Becca, you
God.
made this. How'd you forget already?
Sweet. Aw.
Like
I
literally
have
last
puppy
week.
brain.
That's
I need you to
concerning.
rover me. I have puppy brain.
Oh my god.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
I want you over me. But yes, this is the thing. This is well, one of the things. I'm actually cagey about several things on this podcast. I'm keeping a lot of things a secret from the viewing audience at any given time.
Mhm. And I get to know them all.
And Becca gets to know them all because I do tell Becca like pretty much everything that goes on in my life.
Yeah.
And some of it incredibly mundane, other things incredibly exciting.
And hold on to your horses for those when you finally learn.
Guys, no, I think an episode is coming soon where Becca and I reveal something that's been going on for like a really long time that we haven't been able to tell you. I say we as if it involves
I know
both
we.
of us, but it is not a we, it is a me. It is fully a me
Yeah.
thing that happened.
Yeah.
But I've just
Anywho.
been concealing little aspects of it. But anyway, so yeah, I started a newsletter. I've been working on it. It's been a literal idea of mine for almost a year at this point. And
Yeah.
I was originally going to launch it like last summer, but then I was just like enjoying my damn self. And then I started planning like my trip, and it just kind of fell by the wayside and stuff. And so once I returned and when I was looking for jobs, I was like, I need something else. Like I need something else to do in my life. And so I returned to this concept, and yeah, so now it is up on its feet. I put out the first two pieces, quinnpmurphy.substack.com, for Over Intellectuals Anonymous, and I'll be posting weekly. You can start and end your weeks with me because I am putting stuff out on Monday on there, and then this podcast famously comes out on Friday.
Guys, what more could you ask for? M
and
to
yeah.
F.
Yeah, and I came up with a little concept for the imagery, and I was like, well, who else can I trust with this but my friend Becca? And she went above and beyond the call of duty.
I was so happy to be involved. And guys, go subscribe because you're gonna want to be reading what Quinn is saying, guys. I'm already so excited for you.
It's a good way to learn how to read too.
And I'm becoming more literate by the second. And as you may recall, in the Dream Life episode, I did make a prediction that you would have like a newsletter, a magazine type of thing. So like this is officially a manifestation space now.
See, and I forgot that.
The
I know this
studio.
is always in the manifestation space is the thing.
I know. I don't want to. I truly can't. It can't reveal its power to me so fully yet.
Didn't something else happen recently that we spoke into existence on the podcast?
I don't know.
I forget. I feel like something like that
forget.
happened. But
guys, that's the thing. We forget. That's why we need you to
yeah,
listen and tell us what we said.
literally. Somebody needs to
Please.
Redditors. We need the MPJ subreddit up and going.
Literally. Good idea.
Becca and I make fake accounts and we just are in there.
Yeah.
Do you have a
anyway.
Reddit?
No, but I go on it sometimes and look, but I don't have an account.
I like actually made an account within the past year, and I don't know if you can actually choose your username, but my username is something like completely random and that I didn't pick at all.
I feel like you can choose. What did it give you? Like a combination of letters and numbers?
No, it's like
Or like
it's
words?
like a word. It is like a regular word.
Oh, then maybe not. Interesting.
See, guys, wag. Oh God,
Yeah,
you can't
right?
actually see it. But I got a wag notification for tomorrow.
And then your phone will blow up if you don't respond in 17 minutes.
Well, wag is just there's so many people on wag. Oh, this dog's cute. Ooh, and Kenneth Square. Anyway, but yeah, so I started a newsletter. It's really fun. And so there's an option to like pay for it. And I was gonna turn that on, but so I'm using Substack, and Substack is like where a lot of people collect like payments, and it's a subscription service. So they're like monthly plans, yearly plans, and stuff where you can pay for people's stuff. And I was gonna set that up, but then the settings are like, I'm not, a lot of people to get donations like offer exclusive content. Now I myself am just getting this off the ground and I didn't want to like overcommit. And so I'm like, I'm not ready to like offer anything really
Right.
to be like,
Right.
oh, I'll do this for you guys. So I was just like, I'm not gonna, so then it was like their settings don't really like to collect money and like not offer anything. Substack is like, so what does that mean? Like you can do it, but it's just kind of like weird with their interface. And so I was just like, okay,
Gotcha.
I'm not accepting payments. But then like people were pledging money, mostly adults in my life, but they were like literally like pledging money. And I was like, maybe I should turn
Oh
this
my God, love
on.
it. Just in case some of these guys want
I
to.
could get a little cash out is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can always turn on and see what happens, and then if it's flopping,
Yeah.
turn it off.
That's the other thing, because it still showed like the pledge page when I like went on, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I was like, do people think they have to like pay for this? Because you fully don't. It's free.
Right.
I prefer
I
you.
am one of those free subscribers.
Of
At the
course.
moment. At the moment.
Becca will never pay for this because she made all the imagery
Oh, fair enough.
in my plans. In my plans.
In my plans. All right. Okay.
Well,
We'll
maybe
see.
I should decide what the value of the imagery is.
Yeah. Wait.
Assess off my rates.
We're gonna
But
have a business conversation
we're
about
gonna have
that.
to have a business conversation. How do you price something that's priceless? A creative vision realized between friends. That's priceless to me.
Priceless to me. $3 million.
$3 million. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm proud of myself for getting it on its feet. And
Yes. Well, Quinn, it sounds like things are generally on the up, and
I
it's okay to have
know.
a bum weekend sometimes.
No,
We need
it was
those. It's been
dark.
rainy.
I think it was darkest before the dawn. No, and the rain was a factor. It has been like, it's been
The
like Pittsburgh
rain.
weather, but on the East Coast. Like
I
it's just
know, and
been
I've been
gray for like a week
scared.
straight.
Yeah.
And I think that was also to do with it because this weekend it just rained like literally all weekend.
Yeah.
So
It was really hard for me as someone who is currently dog sitting her own dogs. It's
grocery
hard
bills
to get them to walk.
paid.
Slay. Yep.
Speaking
I
of
Oh yeah.
Becca Joan, what is going on in the
Hey,
life,
girl.
would you say?
Well, thanks so much for asking. Kind of hinted at it, but yeah, my mother is on a cruise right now. So I am head of
Your
the
mom,
house.
CEO of going on vacation without her child.
No, she's crazy. Like she literally will be like, "Yeah, I can't afford to pay for your groceries. Like, we can't like go out to dinner." And then she's like, "I am going on a cruise in a month, and I'm gonna need you to watch the house." I'm like,
You
"Okay."
need to guard the fort.
This is like a crazy kind of life you lead. But you know, she makes sacrifices so that she can go balls to the wall for like 4 months or 4 weeks out of the year. Um,
Her
so yeah,
cruise is
because
4 weeks.
no, she's going on different vacations after.
Oh,
Yeah,
good for her.
a month long, bro. The opposite of sailing yacht. But I am jealous because I've never been on a cruise.
Mm.
But she also doesn't have internet or phone access.
That's what people say about cruises.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Although I feel like Below Deck has really ruined my idea of what a cruise is.
Like you think a cruise would be bummy now because you
Yeah.
watch Below Deck? Yeah, I kind of
Mhm.
understand. Because I'm like, no private room. Like,
Because that was the whole like subplot of season 3. That was like where a lot of some of Kate and Leon's like tension came from, the fact that he worked on cruise ships.
yeah, and Kate.
And she like detested that.
Yeah, and I get it. I get it.
And I get it for her, honestly.
Yeah.
Plus, like we talked about how I don't really love resorts.
Right. And it's
And
basically a resort on the water.
and you don't have the option to leave.
Okay, but okay. When
Although
I
you
was
do get to
like,
get off the boat,
you can, yeah.
from what I
It
understand.
depends on what you're doing. But
Mhm.
then sometimes the mysteries that happen on cruise ships kind of like dark side a little bit. It's kind
I
of
was
crazy.
listening to a podcast and the co-host was talking about this cruise they were on, and literally the first day someone died on the cruise.
Like, oh, bummer, dude. Yeah. Oh my God.
Anyway,
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how she likes it.
is
I'll
she
let you
on the cruise
know.
with someone?
Yeah, she is. Her fiance. Yeah.
Your mom's
And
engaged?
yeah,
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
that's how I have a stepdad.
I didn't
Hello?
know you had a stepdad. I knew you had a step.
And my stepsisters?
Oh, that's. I thought your
Okay,
stepsisters
yeah.
were on your dad's side.
No,
Or did I
Bill
get
is
that mixed up? And
single
your
at the
dad, yeah,
moment.
your
Yeah.
dad's single. Okay, maybe I got it mixed up in my head.
It's all right.
Schwerd.
Okay, now that's concreted.
Good for her.
Maybe one day you will meet them.
Me when I forget my stepdad's non-binary.
Because at first I was just talking about my stepdad, but I meant all of my stepfamily. I'm
Mm.
so Cinderella coded. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Two
Hmm.
stepsisters. Oh my god.
I have met
Um,
the Supreme Mrs. Does she still go by Hobart or
Miss Jewel?
yeah,
Yeah.
Miss Jewel?
Yeah, her last name is Hobart because she watched that one episode of Teen Wolf with me, and Scott's mom was like, I kept your dad's last name because I want to have the same last name as you. And Jewel really took that to heart.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah. It's kind
My
of lovely.
ex's mom did the same thing.
Yeah. You know, why not, I suppose.
Hmm.
Anyway, enough about my mom. Basically though, what am I even trying to rush to? Because all I do is work. Um, it's been such long days, and I know Quinn, you might have jealousy in that,
Yeah.
but remember this moment. Remember this
I
moment.
know, because that's what I wrote in my journal too. I have a full acknowledgement of that because it's like you always want what you don't have, right?
Exactly.
Because that was always because that was the other thing I was really dealing with. I was so bored.
Right.
I was so bored this whole weekend and like I couldn't think of things like even the things that usually bring me joy. I was like is this depression or is it like because one of the things of like depression is like, oh, you like the things that bring you joy don't bring you joy anymore. And it was like, is
Hmm.
it that or am I just bored with everything? Because I have been doing just the same thing for like a
So
month and a
long
half at this
now.
point, like 6 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that might also be part
But
of it.
that's
But not to turn it back to me, but you're
no,
working.
yeah.
You've been working on the railroad.
I'm just working. Good thing though is that I do enjoy my jobs for the most part. You
Yeah.
know, obviously retail work has the demons in it, but you know, I like who I work with and
Hmm.
stuff. So I feel lucky in that. I'm just a little bit tired. Um, and something that has just been distracting me so much is
Hmm.
that while it was raining and I don't know, I was getting like a little moody. I just want a summer romance so badly. I'm kind of reading Emma
Summer
again. Oh
love.
my God.
Reading Emma again.
Ooh. Trying to pick it back
You've been
up.
picking her up and put her back down.
Exactly. Because I'm like, I gotta put her on pause for the book club.
Uh-huh.
Anywho. But um uh it's it's just I'm like fearing the person I'm becoming because okay, I like do have a crush, I will say.
Yeah. A manifestation space. What do we literally spend so much time talking about last week?
Exactly, crushes. And then there I go and get one. I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
Manifestation space.
But also I have to recognize like I've had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, there are parts where like I am fully a crazy woman.
Mm-hmm.
And like I do have delusion in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm like, okay, this person is it like said hi to me in a certain way, like they like me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
No,
when
and
is
you should think
that?
that. And you should think that.
Okay, thank you.
No, and you should think that.
Okay,
Because
perfect.
that's also part of my disease. If anybody's just like nice to me, I'm like, oh, they're in love with me. Is the
Obsessed with
thing
me.
now, and how am I gonna
Yeah.
navigate this? Um,
Yeah. It's
so
gonna
I
be
don't know
great.
what that is exactly. Like, why do I expect people to be so like cruel and like spit upon me? Apparently, to the point where like if they're just like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm like, why are you obsessed with me?
No, I
Like,
know. I'm like, did I go through trauma when I was younger and like block it out? Because whenever
yeah.
someone's so kind, I'm like, oh boy, that like there's a charge there. But I also do like to think that I can like kind of read a room,
Oh,
you
1,000%.
know? So
You're a water
like,
sign. You're intuitive.
exactly. So I'm like, okay, it is real.
Yeah, baby. In that chart, Cancer everywhere you look.
Oh my God. And a Pisces moon, girl.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of
These waters
astrology,
run deep. What?
it turns out the reason I got that offer late for my job is because there was a glitch in the system because I've worked with this company before, so the system got confused. And what is going
Oh,
on right now but Mercury in retrograde?
exactly. Oh, wow. That's so true, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. But isn't
Mm-hmm.
it out, but it's going back in?
No,
I
I don't think
forget.
so.
Okay, it's still in
It ends
retrograde.
sometime this month. I think like within the next 2 weeks, but
Oy.
it's also tough because they're like, don't sign contracts, but it's like, what am I supposed to do?
Hold hold off until back in grade.
I I sent an email back to the company. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't sign this right now.
Not now. Not
Not
now.
now. Not now.
Please, not now. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm kind of feeling that retrograde, I guess. But guys, also Venus is gonna go into Cancer soon. So I'm like,
Ooh.
ooh, I'm a little bit nervous for how deep this
That's
crush
oh my God, your
becomes.
love. Wait, if you already have a crush, you're gonna be done.
I know.
You're done. You're done.
But okay, synchronicities keep on happening surrounding this person where I'm like
Hmm.
thinking about something and then boom, I get a text about them. Or boom. Like
Boom. Are you thinking
um
about last week's episode? Boom.
a little bit, yeah. Do I really say boom that much? Dang.
Boom.
Dang.
Guys, I went a little crazy with the boom.
And
I'm
we love
advancing with Premiere. What can I say? I'm learning new skills.
and we love it. We love it. We love it. Um So yeah, guys, I guess I'll keep you updated in like this delusional phase of mine. Well, no, we just realized it wasn't
No,
delusional.
you're not delusional at all.
So I'll just keep you updated with this phase of life.
Mhm.
And everyone just pray for me. Like please. Like please.
This is me praying.
Please. This is me praying.
Dear God, if you hear God. I don't know the rest of the lyric. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to have a crush. Like
That
I'm
is
in like
it's been exciting.
where yes, because like I'm just like I see my parents every day. What am I gonna do? Crush on them? No,
No,
that's weird.
no, not in the state of Delaware or Pennsylvania, babe.
No, it's not allowed. Can't crush on my
Mm-mm.
dogs either. That'd be weird. That'd be
Yeah.
weirder. Or do
You
we think
think?
it's I don't know. You be the judge. Guys, comment down below. Is it weird to have
Up
a
to
crush
you.
on your parents or your dogs?
Comment corner.
Comment
Please let us
corner.
know.
Comment
Like
corner.
and subscribe if like if crushing on your dog is weirder. Comment if crushing on your parents is weirder. Let us know.
Did you see that one? I mean, did you see that thing going around where people would do votes, like when Twitter views first came out, and they would put like views? So like one of the ones I saw was like, oh, Lady Gaga would be like likes, Beyonce would be retweets, Taylor Swift would be replies, and then like
Oh.
Carly Rae Jepsen was views.
Oh,
The
that's
joke
funny.
being like way more people view your tweet than
View
any
it
other type of engagement, and so
and you can't
the viewer will
control.
always be higher, even though Carly Rae Jepsen is like for some reason less famous than those other three,
Right. We haven't
despite
cracked the
putting
code on
out
why.
equally good, if not better, products at certain
Mhm, mhm.
times.
Yeah. We're still diving deep into that investigation, guys.
Yes,
So
we're still investigating. Becca and I have many ongoing investigations.
Oh, I've got a book full. A
Why
book
do you think I
full.
started a newsletter? There's going to be some breaking news on there pretty
The
soon.
press is hot. The press is
The press
hot.
is
Yeah.
hot. My pen is on fire. Is what is going on ultimately.
Why you do you right? Okay.
Like you're running out of time.
Anyway, guys.
Well, Becca, do we have anything to update the viewing public on further?
I don't think so.
All
Oh, I
right.
guess my background. We'll talk about that in a sec.
I might have a different background for the next segment.
All right. Bye, guys.
But we are gonna go get ready for what is sure to be an exciting time on this podcast.
Mhm.
Guys, I'm scared.
Ah, I am German and I am very scared.
Yeah.
And we're back, guys. And oh my God, where am I?
What the hell?
Where am I? Oh wait, we're at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. We're the Met Gala.
Not again.
Not again, not again. I hate when I
Wait,
end up here.
I think I'm at the wrong year.
Yeah, I think you are. You're at the Camp Met Gala.
Oh my God. Guys, I can't tell you the amount of times I've accidentally time traveled. Like I'm starting to get sick of it. Oh boy.
Especially accidentally trying to time travel to that exact event.
Exactly. Oh
You
boy.
somehow always are ending up there. I don't know what that's all about,
It's like
really.
no matter what I do.
You ain't get away
Anywho.
from it.
You can't
We'll
get away
never
from
be
it.
free of the discourse over the 2019 Met Gala.
No, exactly. It's one of the most yeah. Anyway, thoughts on
It
that maybe
it is one of the
later.
most significant like events in internet history. I'm convinced.
Everyone became everyone's a critic.
No, it was the
Everyone's
one
a
where
critic.
everyone became a critic.
Everyone said like people who learned what the Met Gala was 12 hours before
People who didn't know what the Met Gala was, even when they were critiquing
during that
looks.
moment. Yeah. Oh my God. Like we're still on Twitter saying the most.
But yeah, guys, it's the
Anyway,
first week of May, which means it's Met Gala time because you may not know this, but the Met Gala is on the first Monday of every May.
it's true.
And as we said, everyone's a critic, including Becca and I. And we don't
Yeah.
know much about fashion, but we do know a lot about style. And
And art and love and
art.
culture
Yes,
and joy.
exactly. Venus in Aquarius, Venus in Cancer.
Yes.
So a lot going on here. A lot of different views at the table.
hmm
Two exactly. And so we wanted to get into the Met Gala today. We wanted to critique some of the looks. We wanted to talk about it. And I'm excited. I was doing a lot of research for this today. And
Yeah.
so I guess we can start with what the hell is even the Met Gala even?
Yeah. What even the hell is even the Met Gala even, Quinn?
So the Met Gala is a fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, their costume institute.
hmm
And they've raised about 150 million from galas since 1995.
So much
And
money to go
yeah,
into a museum.
literally. What else happened in 1995? But Anna Wintour took the reins too. So that's where we
hmm
get that lady with the bob, other
Yep.
than being like, the Vogue lady and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
the Met Gala as we know it today, Met Gala started in 1948, but the Met Gala we know it as we know it today really started in 1972 when Diana Vreeland, who is like an iconic, who was kind of Anna Wintour before Anna Wintour, like Anna Wintour
hmm
of her time, like as like the most,
She sets the stage. Yeah.
yeah, editor of Vogue, had a lot of the same kind of roles as Anna in society. She kind of started, it used to just be kind of like New York elite, like social elite, and like the fashion, hoity-toity fashion people. But Diana Vreeland started inviting like celebrities and stuff, and that's kind of what put it on the map to like the general public.
hmm
Um, and I actually read this one really, it's kind of getting towards what we talked about with the transformation of the Met Gala under Diana Vreeland and kind of the continued transformation under Anna Wintour, as well as kind of what we talked about. Like everybody being a critic. I read this
Yeah.
Evan Ross Katz did a great write-up of some of the Met Gala fashions today, and in some general thoughts on the Met Gala, he wrote, there's an innate tension between the exclusivity of the Met Gala and the necessity of satisfying the public's appetite for access that allows the event to maintain its foothold as the biggest night in fashion.
Yeah. Which is
Because
a pretty good way to put it.
he did mention that there have been some critiques. I believe it was Tom Ford he mentioned in the article, who say like, oh, well, it's more of like a costume thing than about fashion at this point. Um, and then Becca also noted the exclusivity.
Yeah. So like we kind of know what happens inside of the place, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the guests, which are all these celebrities, are basically just told to like enjoy the exhibit. But like if they take photos, they will die.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not really supposed to like talk about what happens inside.
Yeah.
Except we do get photos from the bathroom every once in a while.
Yeah.
Those are
And we get
sacred to
photos
us.
of the aftermath.
Yeah.
But yeah, since its inception in 1948, only 3 years have not had a Met Gala, being 2000, 2002, and 2020. And one thing I wanted to make about the guest list, is that one thing to understand about the Met Gala is that brands and designers buy tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And an individual ticket is about $35,000 a pop. And then if you bought a table, like Tom Brown, if they bought like a table at the Met Gala, that's like $200,000 for a table.
Mhm.
And
So
of
much
course,
money.
yes, very a lot of money as
Oh my
somebody who has
God.
no income. Um, Anna Wintour, of course, has final editorial control over who comes in the Met Gala, but designers invite celebrities, and then the celebrities wear the designer to the event. So the celebrities are
Mhm.
not really paying for their own tickets. And that is also why there's like a certain level, there's a give and take, a push and pull a little bit, because we can't fully be reading the girls down sometimes as much as we would like to.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times they maybe don't control what they're wearing to the Met Gala.
Exactly. I felt this so much last year. I felt like everyone on Twitter was just going crazy about theme
Hmm.
things and stuff like that, with like no foresight to actually look into like design choices, what a
Yeah.
designer's all about,
Hmm.
and no awareness that it's not this, like, this celebrity did not buy and make this dress.
Oh,
Like,
1000%.
they're being dressed by someone who is choosing what they're wearing.
And people are like, so this is a problem I have with the Met Gala and with like Drag Race as well. People are so myopic and like weirdly nitpicky about themes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I'm about to be myopic and nitpicky about a theme, but like not in like a negative way. I feel like I do it in like a postmodern, like informed way. Whereas like some people
Right.
just do it in like a completely earnest and like,
Cringe way. Yeah.
yeah, cringe way. Like there's something fun about when I do it. But no, it
Mm-hmm.
does, like, you do have to have a certain knowledge. Like I'm about to critique because I spent today researching, like, I of course knew who Karl Lagerfeld was, not to spoil the
Mm-hmm.
theme before we get there, but like I
Right.
did some research today being like, okay, so what was Karl Lagerfeld's significance? What makes a successful Karl Lagerfeld reference, which was basically the theme of the night, like
Mm-hmm.
referencing Karl Lagerfeld in some way. Um, and so and then I feel like with the camp Met Gala, that was kind of, it was kind of doomed from the beginning, because honestly, camp, as much as you can define it, it's also like something you can't really define.
Yeah, it's undefinable.
You kind of, it's one of those obscenity things where it's like, you know it when you see it.
Yeah.
And like you can try to like distill it, but it's also like nothing will ever fully capture it, which is like to have a camp Met Gala kind of defeats the whole purpose of being camp in general, because there's a certain unawareness to camp as like a concept.
Right. Like, what would truly be a camp Met Gala is like if the themes was like The Simpsons and everyone had to like be one of the Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like, maybe then.
But and it was like
Maybe then.
unironic. Like they were like,
Yeah.
no, we actually believe the Simpsons are style icons and we want everybody to dress up
Exactly.
like them for the night. And
Yeah.
that's why Carly Claus, like looking camp in the eye, what Becca is referencing, became such a big thing, because she made like this whole like, ooh, to just wear an ugly fucking dress.
Yeah. And then years later, it's the most camp thing alive.
Literally. Like that was one of the most camp things to come out of the night.
Yeah. The
Because it was
circle of
so
camp.
unaware of it. Like it was so unaware of how funny it was. Anyway.
Oh
Will
my
not be the
God.
last time we talk about the Camp Met Gala on this podcast. I will guarantee you that. But
No,
we are going to move on
1000%.
to this Met Gala. And every Met Gala has like a theme. And so there's all
Hmm.
this like discourse about who's on theme, who's off theme. And so this year's theme was Karl Lagerfeld, a line of beauty. And so Karl Lagerfeld was a legendary German-born fashion designer who acted as creative director of Chanel starting in 1983, as well as Fendi and his own eponymous brand. Um, and some of the things I learned about him today while I was researching was he was one of the first designers to work freelance. So for the beginning of his career, he didn't work for like a particular house. He kind of just made designs for people. So like Chloe, he's really known for his work with that brand. Um, but he wasn't like officially under their umbrella or anything.
Mhm.
But apparently what really made him like icon status is he took over Chanel when
Yes.
Chanel was really flopping. Because Miss Coco Chanel died in 1971 and the brand was really
Rest in
struggling to find its
peace.
feet for about 10 years. And then Carl came in and he kept a lot of the brand's essence. but he kind of made it more modern because it's the 80s by this time, and Chanel was still looking like the 60s. And in the 80s, it wasn't like cool to look vintage, really, like
Mm-mm.
in the same
Not
way it is
yet.
now. Um, and so everybody was like, "Oh, I don't want to look like my grandmother," like because Chanel, like if you look at 60s Chanel campaigns, it's a lot of like two-piece kind of like not pantsuits, but like kind of suit type garments, like the kind of things you would find in like thrift stores now.
Yeah.
That like old ladies, I say with so much respect and admiration, like to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of makes sense if you're like a young whippersnapper in the 1980s being like, oh, I don't want to look like that. But Carl kind of took a lot of the elements of Chanel and like its use of tweed, and kind of updated them and made them more like friendly for the modern age.
He ossified it.
Yes. And he also like started using Chanel, like the logo and a lot of the designs. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's where you get like the Chanel belt, like the big like double C on like bags and stuff. Like that's Karl Lagerfeld's influence, which is kind of crazy.
I know it is crazy
Because
because
like
also like every brand does that now.
yes, and Chanel is like too much now. But
Yeah,
Chanel is like one of the most iconic logos, especially in like high fashion. Like
for sure.
it's probably the most recognizable like high fashion logo.
Probably. LV is pretty. Yeah, I'll give it to
Yeah, I guess
Chanel though.
that. Yeah, the monogram of like
But Chanel did
LV.
it first.
Yeah, or like the I don't even know if people know the Medusa head is Versace.
I feel like
Um,
people know that.
maybe I don't know, but yeah. And also this Met Gala, I think timing's interesting because Karl Lagerfeld died in February of 2019,
Oh my
so
God,
he
what a
didn't even
time to
get to see
die.
the Camp Met Gala.
Probably for the best.
Died before COVID, died before the Camp Met Gala. It's like you get trade-offs. You get trade-offs in life.
You can't win.
Um,
You can't win.
but I guess it kind of makes sense because like obviously they couldn't switch the theme um for like to be like super timely with his death.
Oh, right.
And then there wasn't a Met Gala for a long time, like after his death. And so
Yeah.
anyway, do you have any but oh, also before I ask back to this question, we should also know that Karl Lagerfeld is a little bit of a controversial figure. He had some
Mm-hmm.
kind of wild views while he was alive. He was a little Islamophobic. He was kind of confirmed fat phobic, but like when you say someone in fashion is fat phobic, it's like saying someone breathes in oxygen. Like it's just
It's just kind of a given,
comes with the
guys.
territory,
I'm just
babe.
gonna
Like,
assume that.
yeah. But he was
Yeah.
kind of brazen. Apparently, he like openly called Adele a little. Said Adele was, I think, quote, a little too fat at one point.
Oh boy.
Like, just said that publicly.
Yeah, no, he was an asshole. And I like to me that's not like shocking that someone like running a fashion house would be
A
an
thousand
asshole.
percent.
So I'm kind of like, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like Anna Wintour is definitely an asshole in certain ways. And
There's a
I'm
whole
sure we'll
movie
find
about
more.
it.
Well, yeah. How she's like a kind of a demonic woman.
Yeah.
Anyway. Um,
But it was
yeah.
when they were like conceiving of it, it was supposed to be less of a retrospective on like him as a person and more of like a retrospect on his impact on fashion, which, you know, he had a big impact on fashion, whether or not he was, a great person all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
if this
we
is a
must
fashion
recognize
event.
that.
But anyway, so
Yeah.
that's a little
It's a
background on
classy
what's
party.
going on with the theme. So Becca, do you like this theme? How do you feel about this theme?
Yeah, you know what? I've seen a lot of talk about how the theme was maybe like kind of boring or whatever, like just
Uh-huh.
a person. Um, but I think sometimes it's okay to have a classy party and
Yeah.
just, you know,
It's just supposed to be a classy party.
and tonight it was.
Yeah.
But like we don't, especially since of how people freaked out about the Camp Met Gala, like we don't need to go so big because a lot of people are going to end up underperforming, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So like sometimes it's okay to just have something kind of more like simple. Um,
And
especially
also like
following last year.
last year when they did like America, like that was almost too like
Too broad
yeah, and everybody was like, I don't really know what like
is
which is
going
why I think something
on.
like Blake Lively's look was really successful, like because it was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, America.
Yeah.
but like a fun
Miss Liberty.
interpretation and a really like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this one was fun, and I honestly I enjoyed watching like the different, because unlike camp, Lagerfeld is like this kind of stable thing where like
Right.
you can
There's
wear
a
Chanel.
specific point of reference. Yeah.
You can wear Chanel from like any time between 1983 and 2019, and oh, that's Lagerfeld.
Yeah.
That same with like Fendi from a certain time. Same with
Mm-hmm.
Karl Lagerfeld's own collection. Like you can say, oh, that's Karl Lagerfeld. Like it's not like, oh,
Yeah.
that's camp. Like
Right.
um, and so I do like that like little bit more black and white. Don't mind the pun. Kind of inclination of the
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah. I thought it was a
But
good one.
yeah, those are our thoughts. I enjoyed looking at the looks today. And Becca, who were some of your best dressed of the night?
So I'm gonna go with the obvious ones. Jeremy Pope,
Mm-hmm.
Anne Hathaway,
Yeah.
Lizzo, Doja Cat, Lil Nas X, Bad Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to even think. I did like Miss Florence Pugh's get up, I will say. Give
Really?
it to me,
We already
Kate.
have some disagreements, I feel.
Okay, fair enough. Um,
An academic conversation going on pretty soon
oh,
here.
what's her name? I forget her name. Oh, I feel so bad because she was the best dress, actually. Come
Miss
on.
Anokiai.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
she shut it down.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
start there. If
Now come on now.
me personally, so the way I was judging when I went through my best dressed is
Mm-hmm.
like I wanted the garment to be like I wanted the Carl reference to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted to look at it and be like, okay, I can see where Karl Lagerfeld's impact is here.
Yes.
But I also wanted it to have an icon factor.
Right. Right.
And when we talk about that, of course, Anne Hathaway's in that conversation.
Yes.
And probably does take overall best dress of the night for me
Of course.
because I love, first of all, Versace.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong, truly.
Yeah.
Um, Also, it just had like the tweed detailing, which I thought was beautiful, and which is Chanel, which is Carl, and it was also kind of Westwood in a way, I thought, which I thought was apropos a little bit with like the safety pins
Yeah.
with
Oh, that
that.
reminds me of Dua Lipa,
Oh yeah.
who looked fabulous as well.
My thing with Dua Lipa is that Claudia Schiffer in like the original Runway truly
Mm-hmm.
chewed her. Like
But we can forget about that for right now.
I know. I can't forget about
I
Claudia
know it's
Schiffer is the
hard. I
thing.
know. I know you can.
And so yeah, Anne Hathaway was probably, and then of course Miss Anokiai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Wearing Prabal Gurung. It was so good, and I put in, to me it rarely read as a reference to the shower dress, which is this famous dress that Carl made for the brand Chloe, which I put
Mm-hmm.
in our outline, and it was with like, yeah, it just looked amazing, and she's such a beautiful woman, like
Yeah. Oh my God, gorgeous.
gore, Gina, stunning. Um, it was a strong night for Tom Brown. Of the four looks Tom Brown like put out into the Met Gala, I like loved three of them, and I thought three of them were like some of the best of the night, being Tiana Taylor, Janelle Monáe, and Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
I thought they looked. Janelle Monáe wore this like huge, like igloo-ish kind of thing. Janelle Monáe is always one to watch at a fashion event.
Oh yeah, because I think she has a deep appreciation and understanding of the art of fashion.
Oh yeah. Her 2019 look might be my favorite, like of the Camp Met Gala.
Yeah.
I truly love her 2019 Camp Met Gala look, and I think it is as camp as you can be, like intentionally camp and like fun. Um, and then Tiana Taylor looked so good. She had like these little like peekaboos, and she had this look on her face that was like so fierce,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just obsessed with it. And it kind of had, if I remember correctly, I'm pulling up the image now. It had like the tweed detailing a little bit more, and of course, like the iconic sunglasses.
Mhm.
And she just looked so cool. She looked like it's like the Secret Service, but if they slayed. Like,
Did you see the video of her having to hop up the steps?
no, but she is tied in that fucking dress. And
Yeah,
now that
she
I see
couldn't
that,
separate her feet. So she was holding on to someone and was hopping up the steps.
now that's
But
camp. That's also camp. Like being so restricted in your movement,
like that, yeah, the clothing actually is not even, is it clothing at
functional.
that point, or is it just like, yeah, restraints?
Yeah. Ugh,
We'll draw that line. We'll see.
yeah, but that I really love Tiana Taylor's. Do you know who I also was obsessed with? A
What?
couple, Diddy and Young Miami.
Young Miami looks so good.
Young Miami looks so good. Diddy was surprisingly one of my favorites of the night. I would 1000% wear what he was wearing.
I need to look up what the photo.
And they have like a weird, interesting like public entanglement to each other where we don't quite know. They're like not, they don't like claim each other, but they are definitely in some sort of relationship.
They're definitely friends.
Yeah, they're definitely friends. Beyond that, we don't really know at this point. And Diddy is also a
I
lot
do like
older than
this.
this Young Miami, but they look so good. Out of the couples in the night, best dressed couple, I would say.
I'll give it to him.
Um, some of my other favorites were Camilla Marone, who is an actor and a model. She was wearing Rodarte, and she had like a black skirt, but then she had like a doily kind of top. So she was doing like black and white, but
Mm-hmm.
the doily just gave me camp a little bit, and that it's like a type of camp that Karl Lagerfeld really enjoyed, which was kind of like incorporating things and like optical illusions a little bit because it is like a doily, but it also looks like a shirt. Like you might not know
Yeah.
it's like a doily right away. Same way you
Mm-hmm.
might not notice there's like a violin on a dress or there's a shower head on a dress, the way Karl Lagerfeld had in some of his designs. And so I thought that was really successful
Mm-hmm.
as a reference, and she also looked really good.
She's on the Jones and the Six show.
Oh, really? Do you
That
know what
girl.
confuses me?
Yeah, what?
The fact that there's like a buzzy thing in the culture called Daisy Jones and the Six, and there's also an actress who's not related to that project whose name is Daisy Edgar Jones.
I know that is silly, right?
I think that should have been outlawed by the Illuminati, who controls all of our media. So I know they controlled both the birth, hatching of Daisy Edgar Jones, and of course, oversaw the project of Taylor Jenkins Reid writing Daisy Jones and the Six.
And the
So,
production, the
and the
television
production
show,
of the
of
Amazon
course.
Prime television show. So, guys, we need to, unless they're trying to confuse us intentionally, which I guess could be one of their tactics.
If so, just know another investigation has been
Another
started.
investigation has just been opened.
Don't
MPJ
fear.
agency, baby.
Don't fear.
We're doing pro bono work until we find the evidence. Just
I was
watch
looking for
the
the
fuck
evidence.
out.
With sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
And then my last person on like my best dress is Lila Moss in Fendi, who is Kate Moss's daughter. I'd be
a
so mad at my
diabetic.
child. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Representing for the girls.
Thank you.
Hashtag girls like us is what Becca is saying. About Miss Lila Moss. She was chewing her mom up. I'd be mad if my kid looked that good next to me.
Yeah. That would piss me off,
Especially because her mom was
personally.
just in like a weird nightgown thing.
No, I like it too.
Yeah, and she was in fur, which was one of the things Karl Lagerfeld was kind of like, some people consider him bad for, is because he was like unapologetic about being like using fur.
Right.
He was always in a war with PETA. He said,
And
fuck y'all.
honestly, so are we.
I didn't buy a fur coat because I was afraid of the ethics of it. And it wasn't even real fur.
You were scared to buy faux fur?
Yeah. I was like, am I like being bad by buying a faux fur jacket?
Oh, I think that's fine.
I don't know, guys. There's discourse about it.
Fair enough.
Anyway. Oh, and one person I wanted to add to my favorites is Harvey Guillen.
I need to look that up too.
He wore like the pink suit kind of thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. A lot of people doing fun things with menswear this Met Gala.
It was actually good.
It was a
actually
good
good
Met
so
Gala for
far.
menswear because usually it's like these women in these crazy outfits and then just a man in a suit sitting next to them.
Yeah, and we
And
got
if
some of that, but it
Yeah,
far
Nicole
better
and
than
Keith
most
Urban,
years.
famous for that because Nicole is always in a fun
Yes.
outfit and Keith is always in a tux.
Yeah, just sitting by.
But
Did
no,
I already talk
men,
about Brian Tyree Henry? Because his look
no.
was so good.
I liked Brian Tyree Henry's as well. It didn't give favorite because it wasn't giving like it was exciting me, but it didn't have the clear like Carlness of it, other than like it being black and
Gotcha.
white. Although it was just Karl Lagerfeld. Like I think it was just Karl Lagerfeld's brand. And so I
Right.
guess it did have that, but I don't know. I like something a little bit, but it was so good. I also really loved Anita's. I thought she
Hmm.
looked so good. Um, was Daisy Edgar Jones? No, Daisy Edgar Jones wasn't the one. I think it was Madeline Klein who,
She looked cute.
yeah, but she was kind of an example for me of somebody who was like clearly in theme, but just not super exciting.
Right. It's a classy party.
Yeah. She wore, oh no, that's not the, oh, maybe it was Daisy Edgar Jones then who was wearing the one. But Madeline Klein was wearing like a dress and it had like a smaller dress, basically like in beads on the thing that just made her look kind of more snatched. Which is very Karl Lagerfeld. It just wasn't like terribly exciting for me.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, ooh, you know who looked really good? Ashley Graham.
Yeah. Yeah.
She really shut the shit down. But for me, it kind of it read more Mugler to me. Like if I saw that, I would. It reminds me more of Mugler than Karl Lagerfeld. Just like the
Hmm.
structure of it gives me a lot of Mugler.
Fair
Take
enough.
me
Yeah.
out this
I mean,
Mugler.
yeah, I see that.
I do enjoy how many people just dress up in Karl Lagerfeld drag for the night. Um, like Cardi B especially, I think was like the prime example of that. She just dressed up like Karl Lagerfeld.
Yeah.
Halloween party a little bit, but like, you know. How'd you feel about Pedro Pascal's look?
That silly little knee of his.
Got those gams out.
I thought I don't know. I like I did want a little more from him,
Mm,
especially because I know like he's a fun guy.
yeah.
There's so much
And
more
you're not making
personality
a
to play
joke
with.
about the mushroom people in The Last of Us.
I'm not because I haven't seen the show actually.
Me neither. I just know they're kind of based off. They're aliens, but they're mushrooms. Or no, they're zombies, but they're mushrooms.
They're aliens. Whoa.
Whoa.
Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway. What do you think of it?
I thought it was good. He was one of my likes. Wasn't a love. Similar to
Hmm.
you.
Yeah.
Um, was there anyone who was like a miss for you, would you say?
Um, Bradley Cooper, I want to punch you in the head.
Bradley Cooper was there.
Yeah. He was just wearing a suit and sunglasses that were like
I want to punch you
aviators.
in the head.
But I just have to say that out loud. Um, Jared Leto will never cease to creep me out.
It was kind of. I think we all kind of hate Jared Leto as a concept, but the cat costume was kind of funny.
It was funny, but when you have someone who's doing it like Doja Cat, like right next to you,
Doja Cat
perpendicularly,
committed to the bit. Doja Cat
yeah,
committed to the bit.
like I can't be
Her,
joyful with this cat.
we're gonna talk about some of those moments later, but her Emma Chamberlain, like me watching Emma Chamberlain floundering trying to interview like Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Love that for her.
It
Okay, so Bradley
was funny.
Cooper.
Bradley Cooper, Jared Leto.
If you wear a tuxedo, just a regular tuxedo, you're automatically flopping. Actually,
Yeah, pretty much
this is kind
so.
of the Met Gala where that's most acceptable because Karl Lagerfeld very famously wore like a suit with a very particular kind of collar.
I
Um,
suppose so. Um,
yeah,
did
Bradley
you
Cooper,
see?
you will never be famous.
No. Did you see what Allison Williams was wearing?
Yes, I felt conflicted. Because
Okay.
we know I'm an Allison Williams stan. We know I'll defend that
Right.
woman to the day I die.
Of course.
I loved everything except for that fucking headband.
I just think the color on her was like
I could see that as
not
well.
right. Not
I do
right.
love the color. I'm not sure if I love it on her.
Yeah. I feel like she was being kind of washed out. I felt
Now,
similarly with Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda Seyfried,
Like
I truly don't know what was going on. I
like
don't
we're
know what was
just
going on there.
it was just everything was just like washing her out. So I was like
You're
confused on
right. It
what
was
was supposed
very
to be great.
brassy. Like the dress was the same color as her hair.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna put a blonde person in a like skin toned like nude, right?
Hmm.
And they're pale, it has to be like cool toned or have some like silver on it or something. Like that's not
Yeah.
because it so easily looks so
Yeah, and
weird.
it was very gold. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Um, now
Mary
if you
J.
put,
Blige.
oh my God, Mary J.
Sorry.
Blige, big titties for y'all today. Let's talk about that. Who was the other woman with huge titties who's there?
Hmm.
Well, there were a lot of women with large
Yeah, I
titties, but there
honestly
was
can't
one
say.
woman who was like featuring and like, because in like the least sexual way possible, just in a way where I appreciate breasts on the female figure. I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming out as saying that.
Thank you.
Whenever,
Thank you.
whenever the girlies are featuring their boobies, I'm into it. But I don't want
Lovely.
that to sound like weird or,
No, that's
but
okay.
no, I'm just appreciating the feminine form.
Yeah.
Not trying to sexualize y'all. Like when Lisa Ann Walter showed up at, was it the Golden Globes or I think it was the Golden Globes with
Yeah,
her
the Golden
titties
Globes.
out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
That was an exciting day for
yeah. That was
everyone.
exciting for her. We've talked about how Lisa Ann Walter is one of my ultimate sex icons.
Literally, it's so hard for her
I won't
not
say
to be.
randomly because she's just hot is the thing. Always been that way.
Just is what it is.
Any more misses for you?
The carpet at the end of the night, the roach.
Ah,
The
the
photo,
roach.
like I'm
She's
looking
gonna
at a
have a
photo
good
of
time.
Alexandra Daddario right now, and like
Hmm.
the carpet behind her looks a mess. Like someone needed to vacuum that in
Oh
between.
yeah, because everybody's coming off the dirty streets of New York City. Even in the
Exactly.
Upper East Side or the Upper West Side, I don't know which side of the
It's dirty
park
still.
the Met is falling on, but like, girl, that street is dirty. Millions of people traipse
Disgusting.
across it every day. Oh
Like
my
there's
God, I didn't
so
even
much
think about
shit.
that.
There's so much shit
Oh my God,
on
I'm
the
looking at
carpet
the floor right
instead of
now. It's so dirty because I'm right
ew, the
here where
roach,
they
it's
were
on
all here last
my
night.
feet.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can I
What
say,
about
and
you?
I hate to say this about a member of the MPJ family, she so graciously helped us out with something.
I fear.
Nicole, I didn't,
Oh yeah, that well another. She was kind of washed out.
but it could have, so it was a reference to a 2004 Chanel number 5 ad she was in. It was directed by Baz Luhrmann.
Sure.
Um, I truly think I would have loved it if she had just done an updo.
Oh, her hair being down was the last straw.
Yeah, I didn't even care about like the washed out, which I can see that as a criticism, but I didn't
Hmm.
like I feel like the hair having the hair down just kind of cheapened it a little bit.
Okay.
And she has her hair up in the advert, and I
Okay.
liked it much better in the
Interesting.
advert.
I wonder
So,
why they. Hmm.
but I think Nicole is just and Nicole, Nicole is literally known for wearing wigs.
Yeah. She could have so easily.
Literally.
Yeah.
And so uh
Oh,
we
speaking of
love
hair, Jessica Chastain being blonde.
yeah, that was
That
kind
was kind
of
of slay to
stunning.
me. Yeah.
Is she done with being in Doll's House?
She must be, I guess.
Maybe. I thought she was fine.
Her dress was okay, yeah, but I
Someone
more
put
so
her
was
on a
like,
best dressed. I think it was Emma Ross Katz, and I do worship Emma Ross Katz, but like I was like, this
not
reads
did
as you
I.
just like Jessica Chastain, and
Right.
but anyway, he also knows infinitely more about fashion than I do, so because I shouldn't. Another miss for me was Kendall Jenner, I do have to say, and not just because I kind of hate everything the Kardashian Jenner stand for.
Right. Right.
I will say she was the best dressed Jenner Kardashian that was there that night.
Yeah. Oh, I hated what Kylie was wearing.
I hated what Kim was wearing.
Yeah.
Um, But I think Kendall, what made it stand out for me is that it was almost there.
So close.
She needed something at the bottom. Like the shoes were really fucking cool. I'll give her that because I love shoes and her shoes were really fucking cool. And I like the garment, but it was giving me Drag Race main stage. Like it was giving me like that would be an elevated
Yeah,
garment for the Drag Race main stage.
I'm with you on that. I see that
And the Met Gala is just a different thing.
totally.
It's a different criteria we're looking for.
A different
Ultimately, at the end,
beast.
in this industry, it's a different criteria.
Sorry, the bar is just higher.
Yeah.
The bar, or at least it's different.
And someone you mentioned in your favorites that I loathed entirely how they looked, and I hate it because I'm such a fan of this person. Lizzo, I hated. I
Really? You didn't like
hated
it?
it. I think she should fire or never work with whoever put her in that again.
Oh my God.
I
Why
think
do you
she
feel
looked,
that way?
it fit her the photo I was looking at. I did see it from a different angle and it looked better, but the original photo I saw fit her it looked like it fit her terribly. I don't know if it was just a bad angle. But what was not a bad angle was the shoes. Those shoes are fucking ugly. Jimmy Choo, I'm calling you out.
I don't think I've actually seen the shoes. One sec.
And maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe it's just me thing. I think a booty is a hard thing to pull off. Like a boot that goes a little bit above your ankle, like mid calf, quarter calf
Mm-hmm.
boot. That's a hard thing to kind of like style, especially with a dress, because I don't know, the way I like the lines to look is like you always want to elongate that leg and it just
Right.
cuts off your leg so much. Especially because she was
Okay.
featuring leg with the slit. To have a boot that like cuts off your leg, it just makes your legs look stubby. Which like I don't know if you want that,
No, I'm with you
then
actually.
maybe
I
you were
don't like the
successful.
shoes.
Yeah, I hate the shoes and I don't think the dress fit her that well.
I
But I
stand
love
behind the
Lizzo
dress. I like the
nonetheless.
dress.
I love Lizzo nonetheless.
Well, we all do, no
But
matter what.
it was a complete she was a complete mess for me. And again, not her fault, but you know. And it's also like part of the thing with the Met Gala is like, how do some of these people end up looking bad where like so much is put into this, you know?
Right.
Like these garments are like so valuable. And like these houses are worth like a lot of money and like you still send people out there looking like dog shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Has to be said.
I know. I wonder if there's like a pressure internally to dress as many people as you can.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. I would be curious to
But
see
some
the
people hit it
design
out of
side
the
of it.
park. Like Tom Brown, I'll say again, did such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
They dressed Jenna Ortega, Tiana Taylor, um, Janelle Monáe, and they also did Olivia Rodrigo, who I did not care for, but my mom really liked. So
I thought she was cool. It's different for her, I suppose.
yeah.
Um, someone who's always not doing as well is going to be Tom Ford, actually, to me.
Oh, Tom Ford was just wearing a suit, right?
Yeah, and everything that I feel like everything I saw of people he dressed were just
Oh,
wearing suits as
wait,
well.
now I want to investigate.
Oh, Jack Harlow.
He looks sick. Can somebody get a
We need a pulse check on Jack Harlow
yeah,
in
guys,
room
we is
3.
he okay? Is he doing good? Because like I feel like Jack
He
Harlow
looks
had a moment, but
scared.
then his first album kind of flopped, and now I'm a little scared for him.
I know. This could be bad, actually.
No, like, because I remember liking what he was wearing a little bit, but I,
I don't know. He just doesn't look too good.
yeah, no, he doesn't look healthy. Like, I don't,
And I don't like the blue tweed with the red satin undershirt.
of course, I can't find the exact thing I was looking for. Or is it this
Oh,
thing?
Vanessa Hudgens kind of looks slay.
I do remember Vanessa Hudgens falling into like my like category. Yeah, Jack Harlow just doesn't look, um, okay, really. Um,
Yeah, not doing good. Not doing good. Let's
and
talk about it. Ava Max. She
I
looks
saw some people
good.
liked that. I didn't particularly enjoy.
Really?
Yeah, no.
But she looks so good.
Yeah. What do you think about Kristen Stewart's look? I feel like Kristen Stewart's look got some mixed opinions.
I was into it.
I was into
Um,
it as well.
the fit was so yeah, I'm just like, yeah, cool.
I saw a tweet that was like it was simultaneously too big and too small for her. And I was like, but I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was purposely doing that. So,
And that's the thing, like if you
interesting.
execute like your vision, then I have to respect that, even if I don't like the vision, right?
Right.
Then it's just a
Fair
creative
enough.
difference. But like if you were going for that, then it's like, okay, girl, you got that. Like, you had that
Mhm.
effect. Intent versus impact. Like you got your intent. Did have the impact is the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, are there any
Yeah.
fun things that happened last night that you really wanted to talk about? Or so we talked about Allison Williams. I have in my notes what was on Allison Williams' head. I feel like we established that. Florence Pugh.
She
You
had that
liked her
silly little
look.
head thing. Yeah. Mostly I did like the feather hat.
I thought the feather hat was kind of all that was going on, and then the dress was a little passe.
Mm-hmm.
Or blase, I guess we'll say. Jared Leto was that fucking cat. Also, Doja Cat is that fucking cat.
Yeah.
They're giving cat in two
Hilarious.
different ways. Doja Cat, of course, did it more successfully.
Yes. No, Doja Cat looked so good.
And the fact that everybody was like, yesterday, I feel like everybody was looking at Doja Cat being like, oh my God, it's her first Met Gala. What's she gonna wear? And then she just showed up as a cat.
She's so unserious. I love
I
it.
love
I
how
love
unserious she
it.
is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my God. She just gets ideas and then does them.
No, and she doesn't give a fuck. Like, she's
Yeah.
7-star general in the IDGAF wars.
Oh my God. Like she's already retired from
Protect
it.
our
Like,
troops is the
yes.
thing. And Doja Cat is a part of that protection plan.
1000%.
She is a princess in the protection plan. Lil Nas X.
The photos of him from behind.
I didn't get it at first. I've come around on it. When I first saw it, I was like, I'm a Lil Nas X fan. I love me some Lil Nas X. I was like, I can't defend this a little bit. But now I understand what he was going for a little bit more.
I'm so with it.
Because like Pearls was such a big part of last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was clearly his inspiration. And again, I think he got the desired effect. I think he just wanted to start conversation.
Yeah. And oh. Yeah. No, dude, I can't stop thinking about the
Who
photo of him
dressed
from the back.
him?
Oh,
Because the other thing is he's not really wearing clothes.
right. So it's more so like who conceptualized this.
Yeah, who painted him? Unless there's also you could fully see outline of cock. Like there was some VPL going on in
Right.
his. I like fully have an understanding of what Lil Nas X is working with now after this Met Gala, and so maybe we celebrate the look for that.
Of course. Always doing that. I don't know. I can't find out.
No, sometimes I was looking on the Vanity Fair one, and first of all, it said like all the looks from the Met Gala, and then I looked through all of them, and I was like, okay, I got through all the looks, and then like literally throughout the day, I was just finding more and more. Like Brian
Yeah.
Tyree Henry was not in the Vanity Fair one, neither was Harvey Guillen.
So it's like, guys, this is not the journalism here is slipping a little bit.
And like they have like men in tuxes, like they have random men in tuxes.
They have Bradley Cooper first thing.
Literally, I didn't see Bradley Cooper's either, so they did a
Okay.
good job with that.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh my God, Becca, you put such a good question here that I didn't even see till now.
Thank you. Yeah, let me pose it. So, I mean, I know that you're there right now, but like, okay, imagine that you were to time travel back to yesterday. What would you like to imagine you would have worn? Like, you're the designer, you're the celeb.
Oh. No one did like direct like if I got like a chance to wear something like actually vintage Lagerfeld, I would wear the shower dress.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was surprised nobody pulled that out, but I think it's kind of boring to wear vintage. Like I kind of do like the like people kind of hate on the costumey aspect, but I think it's fun. Like I think costumes are fun.
Yeah. No, me too.
Like I don't know. I think costumes are a big part of fashion. That's why I like Moschino so much. I feel like it like leans into costume a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm getting like I don't know how I would do this necessarily, but like I'm getting a big like because like sunglasses,
Mm-hmm.
I would get really into sunglasses, but I want to find a way to make them the whole garment and not just like wear sunglasses, right?
Right.
Like maybe if I was
Okay.
like a big pair of sunglasses, but it was like in like a fashion tasteful way.
Obsessed with that
Like maybe if it was
because
like kind of Ashley Graham structure in like a gown, because I'm wearing a gown. It's the Met Gala. I'm wearing a gown is the
right.
thing.
Yeah, of course.
And like maybe if it was like bust, if I did like an hourglass, but it was like these sunglasses, like I was wearing these sunglasses, we'll say, like my
Mm-hmm.
Sachsenhausen knockoffs that I bought in Sao Paulo. Um,
Right.
and then like I'm wearing these on top, and then I'm like it's kind of like an identical pair being my tatouage, like my bust, and then there was like an identical pair at like my waist to create like an hourglass made out of like sunglasses, kind of.
That would be slay.
Yeah, like something like that, but fierce. And then that was kind of like, and then that would give Carl a little bit. Or I honestly, my favorite like category of the night was the people who took like the tweed. Um,
Okay.
like the people who played with like the Chanel tweed. Um, and so that was kind of my favorite motif of the night, I guess I should say. So maybe something incorporating the hat.
I like the
Becca,
sunglasses the most, I think.
yeah, Becca, what would you imagine wearing?
1,000%. I would go Katy Perry hamburger and just wear a giant pearl.
That's really good.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
you're just like a ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000%.
That's the right answer. That's the right
And
answer.
it's like not made of foam like the patty, so like Celine Dion can't grab me like that.
Oh
Um,
no. Oh, it's like hard. It's
yeah.
it's kind of hard. Like you're
Yeah,
like
and it's gonna be
dunk
heavy,
dunk
I'm
dunk.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doof doof. I can
Yeah,
barely get
no.
up the steps.
Hmm.
I can barely breathe.
No, and you'd have
But
like a
yeah.
little blonde bob and like
Yes, exactly.
a little like Chanel like topper hat on top
1,000%, yeah.
and a little
Wearing just a
bag.
pearl. Yep. And like I would just be serving like creature a little bit, but it would be awesome.
When
So
are
I'd
we
be a
gonna get
pearl.
invited to the Met Gala?
I want to go. Let me
Oh
in.
my God. That's gonna be
Let me
good.
in.
I can see it for us, honestly.
Me too.
I can see it for us. And
Manifestation space.
we'll be on the carpet
We are
together like
going.
uh but yeah, I think that's the Met Gala. But Becca, do you have any other final closing thoughts on the Met Gala?
Guys, when you look at the Met Gala, just think about how it's the Met Gala. So it's okay.
Yeah, guys. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Be a critic, but don't be annoying about it, right?
Yeah, literally.
What would you want
What?
to see as a Met Gala theme? I just thought of that question because also some people have
Oh
been
my
joking about
God.
that recently.
That's such a good question. I would love to see um like a like an apocalyptic thing, but like set in like also the jungle.
Oh,
But
okay.
like the world ended and we all had to move to the jungle.
Yeah, rainforest is the only place you can go.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What about you?
What would mine be?
Oh, and sirens, 1,000%. Like mermaids and sirens.
Mermaids.
Like, yeah, come on now. Sailors.
Ah, yeah, nautical.
Yeah.
Just nautical.
And do it that you show up and looking like Captain Lee, and I come as Sandy Yawn.
Do you know what show I want so bad?
What?
Well, now the writers are on strike, so I don't think it can be realized for a second, but I want a Young Sheldon spinoff called Young Sandy about Sandy Yawn, like growing up as a child. I want that so bad. I want to be the showrunner. I want to be the creator.
Oh
Because
my
and
God.
guys, you might be like, oh, well, Sheldon Cooper is a fictitious character made up. Do you know what other show exists? Do you know what other show exists? It's called Young Rock. And who's that about? But Dwayne the Rock Johnson,
Is
who's
that
a
really a
fully real
show?
person. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Look
my
it up.
God.
Look it
Oh
up.
my God. Google it. Google it.
Google it's free.
That's
And
crazy.
so yeah, Captain Sandy would not be the first
Oh my
to
God.
have a young show made off of her. And I she's way more iconic than The Rock. If we're gonna be so serious,
Oh,
if we're gonna be so
1,000%.
serious right now, she's way more iconic than The Rock. Way more cultural
1,000%.
relevance, higher salary, less bills to be paid, less incomes affected,
And more
um,
gay.
and more
Oof.
gay.
That's all you need.
And
That's
that's
all
always
you need in a human.
we show up as Captain Lee and Sandy.
Oh
And we
my
hire
God.
someone to be Glenn.
Yeah. We just bring the real Glenn because he's
He'd
he would be
come. He'd be
down.
like,
He
I
would be
don't care.
down. Exactly.
Oh my God. What do I want the Met Gala theme to be? I was thinking, horses.
Oh, okay.
That'd be such a fun team, horses. Equestrian.
Oh my God.
No, his equestrian would be so fierce.
That would be if you ossified equestrian.
Yes, like, or polo. Like, oh my God, it'd be a big night for polo.
Yeah. Wow.
No, there was this one category on Drag Race one time. It was called it was like Lady Ballers. It was like women. It was in like it was supposed to be like sports or like balls because they had it was called the ball. And so one of the themes was like Lady Ballers, and I was like, it was mostly like people dressed up as like female athletes and stuff. And I was like, if I had done this, I would have totally dressed up as a girl who's about to get on a horse and ride.
Believe you
Or
me.
maybe just fell off her horse, lost the division, and now she's throwing a damn temper tantrum. Because guys, let me tell you,
Classic.
happens.
Totally.
Happens to some of the best of them. Happens to some of the best in this industry. Let's just say it. But
It would be cool because I feel like for you being a Sagittarius, you would have to go as a centaur.
yeah, very Katie Price in the
And then
centaur
I would have to
outfit.
be your equestrian.
Yeah.
Or like a hot jockey.
You on my back.
Like I'm imagining it's prosthetic, like the horse behind of you.
Yeah, I've seen people do there's another person back there. We have to hire them. Or you're in the suit. You're the back end of the suit.
Hey.
Hey.
It's like a Kim Kardashian thing. It's my ass is so iconic. Grabbing
And then you
onto.
like separate from me, and then I'm like a satyr.
Ooh.
And then we're like a satyr couple.
Like a satyr couple.
We're a hot satyr
Okay.
couple.
Write that down.
Hot satyr couple looking for a third at the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
We like your vibe, Doja Cat.
We like the Doja with the cat. We like it thick, we like it fat.
Exactly. She would definitely come
anyway.
home with us. Anyway.
I think that's Met Gala. Carl, RIP to you, guy.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
She died.
passed away.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, but we will be
She
right
passed away?
back. Continue whatever the fuck this program is at this point.
Program.
Guys, I'm scared.
If you
Oh my
wanna
God, I didn't
know
even
my
see that
lover,
there.
gotta get with my friend Quinn. All right. So, guys, we're back. It's time for our weekly segments. We've talked about so much at this point, but it's time to
I
talk a
know.
little bit more. All right. So, our first segment, as always, is Comment Corner. Guys, remember, you couldn't be contributing to this always.
Yes.
Leaving us things, information about you, your social security number, etka.
Credit card number,
Do like
expiration date,
PIN.
and security code. Those 3 digits on the back, girl. They'll get you every time.
Routing number, anyway, like anything you guys have, actually. Loose bills, honestly, we'll take them.
Stripe account.
Yeah. Robinhood. Okay. But guys, so leave us comments, just like our friend Evan Rosman did on a YouTube video. Commented, your guys' imprint on the world has not gone unnoticed. And with that, I say thank you.
Yeah, I say thank you.
Because it does feel good to be noticed.
Yes. Because Because what do we do this podcast for if not to be noticed?
It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard.
Becca and I knew
guys.
we had to share this with the world. We were told we have to
Yeah.
share our conversations with the world is the thing.
These thoughts.
And so we've done that, but sometimes the world isn't always like talking back.
Right.
It's like my job search. It's like I'm ready to work 4 jobs, but the universe isn't ready to give me 4 jobs.
Not yet, at least.
And what are the implications of that? But yeah.
We may never know.
Yeah, Evan. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
comment. It's so nice to know we're relevant. And Evan, now that you've left such a nice comment, we need to know more about you. We demand it. Miss Gunk, we're also looking at you.
Yeah. Miss
Guys,
Gunk
if you write in, you should almost prepare a second email. Like maybe put it in your drafts
statement.
folder.
Yeah.
Being like, this is me. Because we do like to know our fans.
Mm-hmm. Deeply.
We do like to know our fans deeply. We know Ecto, we know Caitlin. Miss Kylie, I believe, has written in a couple times. And these are people we
Yes.
know. Actually, I think we were still waiting on Kylie's biography. So Kylie, you want to send us your biography in?
Tap in.
We know
Where
all
you
these things
at?
about other people.
Mm-hmm.
But now Evan, we want you to be in that coterie.
So, Evan, we are now noticing you.
Mm-hmm.
In this cycle of noticing, we hope to continue.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hope to hear from you soon, is all I'm going to say. ...
Yes, baby gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on swiftly to the jump scare of the week. This is anything Quinn and I found spooky, scary, bad. Guys, who is that? What are you doing there? What are you doing there? Oh. Oh, it was just my big toe. So, Quinn, what was up for you this week?
Do you ever like sit with your parents and like get a grasp of how little they know about technology?
Yeah.
I had 2 moments like that happen back to back within like the same minute over the weekend. So my parents, for some reason, decided to watch Ghosted, the new Becca, you'll be excited by this Chris Evans
Chris
film
Evans film,
with Anna de
yeah.
Armas. Did you watch?
I didn't yet.
It is. I only watched the first 20 minutes, and from what I saw, it's a little bad.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. I have no expectations.
Yeah, no, and I would keep it that way. And
Cool.
Chris Evans' character is kind of he does do a kind of creepy thing.
Okay.
He like goes to he a plot device is that he has an inhaler, and like him and Anna de Armas have like a rom-com day together. Like they like fall in love with each other basically in a day, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go home, and she's like, okay, and then he left his like inhaler or something with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a tile thing on his inhaler, which I thought this was interesting because something interesting about Apple having their own streaming service is that like every piece of technology, like when you're watching Ted Lasso, it's like they all have like MacBooks and iPhones and like iOS settings and stuff like that. And it's like interesting. But for whatever reason, he didn't call it an AirTag in the movie. He was like, oh, I used this tile thing to track it. And I was like, well, tile is the name. It wasn't like the tile imagery, but tile is the name of like a direct competitor to AirTag, which I thought was interesting, but that's a digression. But anyway, and then he's like, oh, the love of my life is in London. And then he goes to London like after her without like contacting her.
Okay.
Like for his inhaler, but also because he like thinks this woman is the love of his life. Rom-com logic. And we need to, I feel like as a culture, we need to move away from men being creepy and having it perceived as being romantic.
Right.
This just happened on Ted Lasso too. Like the last episode of Ted Lasso, there was this guy just passing outside of like this restaurant where a girl he liked worked at. And I'm like, this isn't cute. This is stalking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's bad.
Anyway, I digress. That's not what any of this is about. But back to my jump scare. That's a jump scare in and of itself. But my original jump scare is my mom was talking because my mom is logged into my Spotify account. And sometimes she be trying to listen to Spotify while I'm listening to Spotify. And so like I'll be listening to a podcast and then like Kenny Chesney will start playing. I'm like, ah.
Whoa.
And then so I was like, Mom, can we set you up your own Spotify? And she's like, no, doesn't that cost money? And I was like, yeah, but if you use things, you gotta sometimes it costs money to use things. And she was like, well, I can use yours. And I was like, yeah, but that's not optimal for me.
Yeah.
And so she was like, well, I already pay for so much stuff as it is, like subscriptions and stuff. I get emails from Apple every month being like, oh, you paid for this, receipt from Apple. And she's like, it's so hard to cancel. And I'm like, actually, Mom, it's not. You just have to go into your subscriptions and cancel them. And she's like, well, how do I do that? And so I'm like, I walk her through it.
It's
And
actually
she's
so
like,
easy,
so what do I
actually.
pay for? And she's like, okay, Apple TV. And she's like, yeah, and I pay for Find My iPhone, which is really important, I think. And I'm like, Mom, what do you mean you pay for Find My iPhone? That's a free service that comes with having bought the Apple devices. So not technically
Yeah.
free, but like, comes with the service.
Included.
Yeah,
Yeah.
included. Great word, Becca. And she was like, I don't know. And so I'm like, Mom, give the phone to me. And I'm like, sometimes
Give me
I
the damn
realize
phone.
how like patronizing this must be, but sometimes I have to take the technology out of my parents' hands and just do it myself.
It's so, yeah, I can't
It's like
explain
it's a
everything.
complete role reversal. It's a complete role reversal from like when you were a child and like your parents would take your toys away. It's like and I know I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just like, I can do it so much faster. It's the thing.
Yeah.
And so I look, and my mom has this thing on her phone. It's called like iFinder, and it on its face seems to do the same thing that
Oh no.
Find My iPhone does, but for a small figure of $29.99 a month.
30.
A month. Who knows how long my mother was paying for this? I opened the app. She's not even signed in. She doesn't have an account, as far as I can tell. If she does, she's not signed into it, and she never knows what her password is to anything, despite the fact that she uses the same one for everything and is constantly involved in a phishing scam.
Oh my god. It's not
Because everybody knows her passwords to everything.
Christine.
My
Horses
mother's
1, 2, 3.
literally.
Oh,
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna cancel this.
that's so expensive.
It was, and I don't know how long she was paying for. Is the thing, and just the matter of fact way in which she said, "Well, I pay for Find My iPhone. That's really important."
That's really important.
And then, literally, not even a minute later, so they start the movie Ghosted, starring Chris Pine and Anna de Armas in a.
Chris Pine, sure, yeah.
Oh, Chris Pine. Well, it could have been improved if it was Chris Pine, in my view. In my view. In Becca's view, maybe different, and that's the beautiful thing about life, isn't it? But
Fair enough.
Evans.
Yeah.
I struggle with names, guys, and when there are so many people named Chris.
I know it's hard for you.
And my mom is named Chris too, and she's in the story, which is also another complicated part to it. Anna de Armas is also wearing this crazy bad wig, like so obviously not. It's not from the Nicole Kidman school of wigs. Let's just say that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so, so Anna de Armas is wearing this wig. That doesn't have anything to do with the story again. But my dad is like, my dad's watching it with my mom, and he's like, your mother always has subtitles on everything. And he's like, I don't know how people watch things with subtitles. And it's like, and I was like, you could just turn them off. And he was like, well, I don't know how to do that.
He didn't know how to turn the subtitles off?
Yes.
Oh
It's
my
like
God.
learned helplessness. Like my parents have learned helplessness when it comes to technology. My mom especially. My mom's like, I don't know how to do that. And like, I'm like, you can't know this little. And maybe it is just like, maybe they just don't understand. Because it's like, I literally grew up with like something like this, my phone I'm holding up
Yeah.
in my hand. Like I grew up with something like it in my hand my whole life. And so maybe that's why it's just so like.
Second nature, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just like, how do you grasp this little?
But like, even if I don't know how to do something on my phone, what I do is actually just Google it right away and then figure it out right there and follow the steps for something.
Yeah. So I don't know. It might be an age thing. My parents aren't even that old.
Oh boy.
My mom's one of the smartest people I know, if not the smartest.
Parents, I don't know. I think,
guys.
yeah, if you don't. One time, my dad, I found out probably he had a iPhone for like 4 years, and I found out that he thought Maps, right? Apple Maps, which you can open and press go and take me there, and it will, drive with you and do the directions and act like a GPS.
Yeah.
He had been writing down the directions step by step that it gives you in the list format. Yeah. He had been doing that from Apple Maps. I
It's
can't.
scary how little they know.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
was
how
like,
are
you
these people
actually don't
supposed to
need to
live
do
on their
that.
own one day, like without
Like,
me in
we
the house? That's
can't.
another reason it's like it's like, is it unethical to not be a stay-at-home son?
Right. It's the conversation we have to have.
Is it ethical for me to leave my house during the day when my parents could need help with technology?
Quinn,
Like,
stay-at-home son. That's another great Met Gala theme.
oh my God,
Stay-at-home son.
Jared from someone's basement.
Oh my
Oh my God, you
God.
know who would kill that Met Gala? You know who's instantly best dressed? Pete
Who?
Davidson.
He doesn't even have to
He
try,
doesn't even have to
dude.
try. He doesn't have to. He can show up. Pete Davidson wearing. Oh, Pete Davidson.
Perfect.
Pete Davidson wearing Great Value from Walmart. Like that is very.
It's so intrinsic, actually.
But that was my jump scare. Becca,
Damn.
what is something that instilled you with God's fear this week?
Oh boy. So I did watch Scream 3 alone last night. And
Oh, in your house.
yes. And I can say this because by the time this episode airs, my mom will be back from her cruise to defend me in the night, even though she is a deaf woman and
Yeah.
there are no alarms in place for that. And she would actually not be able to help at all. But when I talked about this last time I was in the house alone, Teddy barks at like the
Nothing.
walls.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then like I'm like, okay, if it's just Teddy, like sure. It's like dark, you know, it's night and I'm trying to go to bed. If he's just barking, I'm like, okay. You know, it's just Teddy. But then like if Miss Hun starts to bark at something or Goldie and they all act like they heard something like right next to us, I'm like, guys, you're freaking me out or you're wigging me out. So my jump scare is just like my dog's being a little haunted. But I feel like
Yeah.
my development is too new to actually be truly haunted. So I don't know. Probably it's just like an intruder or something living in the walls, which is far more comforting than a ghost.
Yeah. And also dogs sometimes are just barking at literally nothing. Like, but that's what we
That is
think. But
also
they also think
true.
dogs are on like a different frequency, so could seem like nothing to us. But I don't like being in my house alone.
Yeah.
I like don't like it. But anyway, so I relate to you in that, and I empathize.
Thank you. But, you know, with the scary comes the good. And that is why we always have our manic pixie moments. So this is anything that was cool, awesome, great. So Quinn, what was that for you this week?
We might have noticed that my background is blurred right now. I've gone through a lot of different backgrounds throughout this episode. It's been kind of
Yes.
astonishing, especially for someone who used to not be able to use this functionality.
It's a gift.
And yeah, so I did something this weekend in the pits of my little funk that I've been meaning to do for a really long time, and I finally got to it. And you know, sometimes things just they don't happen right away, and that's okay. But I'm gonna reveal it now. 3, 2, 1. Probably don't notice much of a difference. But I redid my wall back there.
Oh, I notice.
Yeah.
It
So
looks so cute.
yeah, there's new stuff, and you can't see where I pulled the paint off the wall with tape from previous stuff
Lovely.
that was up there.
Awesome.
So what you're seeing is a lot of new things, but also more paint that will inevitably be pulled off the walls. Um,
It's
but yeah,
okay.
that wall is kind of more like imagery. So like a lot of pictures from like my travels are up there, some of my favorite ones, as well as some like random like film photos I've taken, as well as some
Gotcha.
like random ephemera I've just picked up. And then this wall next to me that you guys can't really see is like my like actual like picture wall with like pictures of me as well as other people in my life who mean a lot to me. Becca, you are very represented on this wall, may I say.
Aw, I'm on the
There's
wall.
1, 2, 3, 4 pictures that feature you.
Wow. Aw,
That's my count.
how lucky am I?
Yeah. So, but that was my new little thing. And so yeah, one little more piece. And now my room's like done for a while.
Good. I love
And
that feeling. Oh
yeah, it's like
my
very
gosh.
settled. Very
Yeah.
settled into it. And I feel like it's like, you know, my vibe a little bit more.
Cozy, cozy.
literally. And so that's my manic pixie moment this week. 'Cause, you know, it just makes you feel like you have your stuff together.
Something's going right.
Yeah. And Becca, what was your manic pixie moment this week? I'm dying to know, actually.
Thank you. So as you guys know, I substitute and I lie all the time. You
Mhm.
already know that. I had this one
Oh.
class last week where, and this is not uncommon that, you know, I'm a substitute and there's like a para in the room. So usually one of those like older women who help some of the kids who need like extra
That's
help or
one of the
whatever.
jobs that are always looking for people too. I've seen so many
Yes.
para-educator positions.
They need those. But so I had very nice woman. We talked a little bit and then the class came in. She was already like, they're so bad. And I was like, I believe you actually. And
I believe women.
believe women who are 85 plus and still working.
No, didn't believe
um
women. Karl Lagerfeld. That was another controversy. But anyway.
um yeah, Carl. But so it was first period of the day. I got up from behind the desk and immediately this kid goes, "Oh, I thought you were a student." And I'm like, not this again. And then they all started making a fuss and they were like, "Oh, yeah, what the heck? How old are you?" And I said, "Guys, calm down. I'm 45." And they shut up. And then I looked at her, the para, and she was kind of like, "Oh."
She was
And I
gobs.
was I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that in front of her because it's kind of like a crazy thing, right? But then later, and I was kind of scared. I was like, oh man, maybe I like look bad in front of her. She goes later, "Hey, how old are you really?" And I said 22. And she goes, "That's hilarious. Keep lying." And I was like, I have professional opinion.
Oh,
Like I
that's
can
hilarious.
lie.
Keep
I can
lying.
That's hilarious. Keep lying. I was like, yeah, it always shuts them up. So
Hmm.
so there you go, guys. Even in the most professional settings, you can fib.
Lie.
Lie through your teeth,
Fib.
guys.
Lie.
Run the gab. Come on, guys. So yeah,
Dogs. I heard a weird noise and my dog's dreaming.
buddy.
Yeah. You know, when they're like
Oh,
in their dreams, like chasing after something and they start to yip a little bit.
yeah. Oh, Miss Hun has the cutest little oh, her yips are so cute.
He was doing it the other day. My mom was like, "It's okay, buddy." And I'm like, "Mom, why'd you stop him? He was chasing something and now he's not anymore."
Yeah, he was dreaming a good dream.
Literally. Uh,
Wow.
but I guess that's the end of our show this week.
All right.
So Becca, where can people find you on the internet? What's your digital footprint looking like these days?
Thank you so much. Well,
Small
they
and
can
petite,
follow.
like a woman should be.
Thank you. My figure. But my Instagram is at Becca Hobart.
Mm-hmm.
My Twitter and Spotify are at Bex Glass. And my TikTok is at Where Y'all Going During World War III. But, you know, if you haven't found me in any of those places, you can also find me in 2019. If you will go back to your camera roll and look at every photo from 2019, you will find me in it. Because I'm running around this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that in my time travels. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Quinn, where can the people keep up with you individually?
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Quinn P. Murphy. You can follow me on Twitter at Quinn P. Murphy _. And you can now read Over Intellectuals Anonymous, the newsletter by Quinn Murphy at quinnpmurphy.substack.com. Go over there, give it a little read. I think it's fun. Subscribe. You get a fun email if you subscribe. Fun little email I
Yes.
put a lot of work into. And yeah, you can also find me absolutely not in the year 2019. I would not relive that year if you paid me to. Actually, that might be a little dramatic.
Fair enough.
She taught me a lot, but that was the start of my flop era. It's well documented. It was the start
I
of my flop
recall.
era. It was the start of my
Yeah.
flop era. And my flop era, of course, ushered in a flop era for the Globe.
Ooh.
Because guys, ultimately what happens to me, and this is what you have to consider about me, right? I portend global trends. My income isn't
No.
coming in right now. Can you imagine what the world's income is going to be like? Oh, they're
In a
talking about the
year?
debt ceiling. That we have a month. We have a month of time here in America before we hit the debt ceiling, which is this dumb thing we invented to like
Literally.
scare ourselves, basically. But if we do hit that ceiling, it has a very real effect in that the markets will crash. So I'm just saying, my income is, I'm not manifesting anything. I'm just going off of what has happened in the past.
Sell your stock.
Sell your stock. Sell your stock.
Lock her
This is
up.
not the time to hold the line. This is not the time to hold the line at all, guys.
No,
Do
no,
not
no,
be
no.
Robin Hood. Take your
No,
money
no,
and put it
no.
in your mattress like they used to in the old days.
Literally.
That's how the Rockefellers became billionaires. Anyway.
And The Rock, which you can now watch
Exactly.
young
And
on what, PBS?
and you can also watch Young Sandy coming to you after the writer's strike ends, probably.
We hope everything is resolved.
Yes. Fight the good fight, sister. And Becca, where can people keep up with the show if they want to do that?
Yes, they
And
can
so
follow.
forth too, as what?
Yes, they can follow. Yes. They can follow at Manic Pixie Jump Scare on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where we post the podcast at length. And sometimes we randomly get like 100 views on something. So
It's
guys,
weird. So
keep running it up.
running it up.
Do what Justin
Maybe we're
Bieber
finally
did
breaking
with
through.
Yummy. Listen to us in your sleep and play it over and over again so we get those streams up. Get the yummy.
I was so unemployed in 2020. I was doing that, but for Rain on Me. Rain on Me is still my like most streamed song on Spotify because I would literally when I wasn't listening to music, like when I would practice yoga for like hours in a day, I would just put it on my computer and play it on a loop.
For them to get streams?
Yes. Yeah. So
Love
Rain on Me
that.
will go number 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't have
perfect.
anything better to do in quarantine.
Yeah, good. Oh my God.
Anyway.
Proud of you. The work you've done. And then guys, please email in at manicpixiejumpscare@gmail.com. This is just one way to comment corner. It of course is how we like to receive information about you guys in depth, where you can really tell us about yourselves. Like we said, Evan, we're gonna be waiting for your response. Any other Evans who are listening are welcome to respond as well. We wouldn't know the difference. But anyone ever also can email in. Cool.
Glad we established that.
Glad that's established. Yep.
We are Quinn. And we are Becca.
We are Becca.
And
Thank
thank
you
you for listening. Yeah.
LOL.
Double ja.
Ja.
Manic Pixie Jump Scare is hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart. Executive produced by Quinn Murphy and Becca Hobart.
Sound and video editing by Quinn Murphy.
Social media management and highlights by Becca Hobart.
And our theme song was written by Quinn Murphy, Becca Hobart, and Nandita Mahesh.